The night before our wedding, I was locked out of Rachel's apartment. Again, her one that got away, Ethan, opened the door with practiced ease, wearing a provocative smirk. Rachel, your memory is terrible. It's one thing that the passcode is still my birthday, but why did you order the groom's suit and watch in my size? I felt like I'd been struck by lightning, but Rachel just clung to him, begging pitifully. Ethan, please, I'm begging you. Divorce her. I only want to marry you. My heart finally died. I tossed the engagement ring, skipped the wedding, and erased my existence from her life. Later, Rachel went crazy trying to find a man who wasn't supposed to exist. Jason, why aren't you coming in? When Ethan helped a stumbling, drunk Rachel home, I had already been squatting by her door for 4 hours. We'd been dating for 6 years. The wedding was next week, and Rachel still hadn't given me the passcode to her front door. She claimed she needed space, that she hated suffocating intimacy and relationships without privacy. Whenever she needed me to stay over, she'd send a temporary guest code. This was the 99th time I'd been locked out because the temporary code had expired. I looked down at the suit I just picked up and the decorations for our new house sitting at my feet. I forced an awkward smile and nodded at Ethan. I forgot the code. Rachel, leaning against him, couldn't walk straight. Her eyes were glazed over, yet she held on to him with contented desperation, refusing to let go, muttering non-stop. Ethan, you're back. Don't go. Ethan soothed her with a doting tone. You haven't changed a bit. As soon as you get drunk, you get clingy. He punched in the code like he lived there, the door swinging open. He shot me a mocking grin. Rachel is too much. After all these years, all her passwords are still my birthday. In that moment, something seemed to explode in my brain. The shrapnel tore my heart to shreds. Turned out she didn't hate intimacy or lack of privacy. She just didn't want it with me. I gritted my teeth and didn't say a word, helping Ethan get Rachel into the bedroom. Before Ethan left the room, he gave me detailed instructions. Rachel hates hangover soup. When she wakes up tomorrow, make her warm honey water with lemon. Make sure to take the seeds out. It helps her settle her stomach. I looked at him expressionlessly and said nothing. Rachel stumbled up from the bed to chase him, screaming for him not to leave. Ethan raised a hand and ruffled her hair. Stop it. I got married 6 years ago. You're getting married soon too. Hearing the word married, Rachel suddenly lost control, shouting angrily. I don't want to get married. If the groom isn't you, what does it matter who I marry? That single sentence drained the blood from my face. Under my sleeves, my hands clenched into fists, knuckles white, trembling slightly. Ethan paused, looking at me with feigned awkwardness. Jason, Rachel gets clingy when she drinks. I'll stay until she falls asleep, then I'll head out. Not long after, gentle, coaxing whispers drifted through the cracked bedroom door. Okay, I'm here. You're a grown woman. Why are you acting like a baby? Through the gap in the door, I watched the woman who was supposed to marry me in a week lying affectionately in another man's arms. I had gotten used to her coldness over the years, assuming it was just her personality. Now, seeing her whisper crazy, loving nonsense into another man's ear, my eyes couldn't help but tear up. I don't know how long I sat in the living room before Ethan walked out. Rachel sleeps restlessly after drinking. Keep an eye on her tonight. If she kicks off the covers, put them back on immediately or she'll catch a cold. My fingernails dug into my palms, my eyelashes trembling uncontrollably. After Ethan left, I turned off the lights, plunging the living room into darkness. I sat on the sofa holding the suit I just picked up, dazed. My face felt cold. When Rachel had told me she'd already ordered my suit, I was thrilled for days. I thought my persistence had finally paid off, that she finally cared. But this wasn't the style I said I liked, and the size didn't fit me at all. Seeing Ethan today, I realized this suit was an almost exact replica of the one he wore to his wedding 6 years ago. Feeling suffocated, I downed half a glass of wine and went into the bedroom to sleep. Rachel, woken by the sound of me getting into bed, looked annoyed. She grabbed my pillow and threw it on the floor. I hate it when men drink. Go sleep in the guest room. I felt like I'd fallen into an ice cave. I'd only had half a glass. I was far from drunk. For 6 years, whenever I had a drink, Rachel was like this. She never asked why I drank, never cared if I got home safely. She just coldly told me to get away from her. Yet Ethan had been tipsy earlier, and she had been nothing but tender and clinging. I had always hoped that one day, Rachel would treat me the way she treated Ethan, even just once. I waited 6 years. I waited until the wedding, but I never got her love. The most hurtful thing in a relationship isn't cruelty, it's double standards. I slept on the chaise lounge in the master bedroom, finally passing out around dawn. When I woke up, the huge room was silent. The bed was cold. Rachel had already gone to work. I decided to take the day off and go check on the renovations at our new house. As soon as I opened the front door, I heard voices from the bedroom. The door was open. Ethan was running his hand over the wedding photo of Rachel and me hanging on the wall, smiling playfully. If I hadn't come back to the States, were you really planning to marry him? Rachel didn't answer with words. She took the photo off the wall and tossed it aside. Ethan raised an eyebrow, hooked his finger into Rachel's collar, pulled her close, and lightly bit her neck. Rachel, playing around is fine, but you'll always be mine. Rachel seemed triggered. She pushed Ethan onto our wedding bed, climbing on top of him, her expression fierce. And what about you? Who do you belong to? Ethan chuckled nonchalantly, wrapping his arm around her neck. You tell me. Rachel looked at him with a depth of affection I had never seen directed at me. Ethan, get a divorce. As long as you divorce her, my groom will be you. Don't be silly. Ethan began unbuttoning Rachel's shirt, his fingertips tracing her chest. My wife loves me. She hasn't done anything wrong. Ethan, I haven't done anything wrong either. I just can't forget you. Jason is a good guy, Ethan teased. The suit is one I've worn. The watch has my initials engraved on it. The house is decorated entirely to my taste. You treat him like this and he still stays. Rachel frowned impatiently. Don't mention him in front of me. Ethan, the person I love has always been you. With that, she leaned down and kissed him passionately. They became entangled in the sheets. In that instant, my entire world lost its color. Sound, light, sensation, everything was sucked out of the room. My brain hit pause, my thoughts screeching to a halt, leaving only the piercing sound of their pleasure. My hands shook as I pulled off the ill-fitting engagement ring. Inside the band, Ethan's initials were faintly engraved. My heart hammered so hard the ring almost slipped from my fingers. I wanted to rush in, to scream at them. What did I do wrong? But my feet felt like they were filled with lead. I couldn't take a single step forward. Finally, I just wiped my tears, turned off the video recording on my phone, and left the ring on the cabinet in the entryway. I quietly closed the door and left alone. Standing aimlessly in front of Rachel's apartment door later, locked out once again because I didn't have the code, I finally let go. All these years, the door I couldn't open wasn't just to her apartment. It was the door to her heart. Whatever. The only things left inside were some pajamas she'd bought me that I hated, and a few casual outfits she'd picked out that were clearly Ethan's style. I didn't want them anyway. I drove back to my own place. Just as I was about to kill the engine, Rachel's specific ringtone played. I was surprised. The number of times she'd voluntarily called me could be counted on one hand. Usually, if I called her, she'd act annoyed. I answered but didn't speak first. In the past, I could carry a conversation happily by myself for ages. This time, there was a long silence until Rachel finally spoke. Jason, did you go to the new house yesterday? Did you accidentally leave your ring there? Her voice was low. I wasn't sure if she was genuinely reminding me or testing the waters. What about it? I asked casually. Rachel paused. Are you coming over tonight? I'm waiting for you. I wanted to ask, is Ethan alone not enough to satisfy you? I decided against it. I should leave myself some dignity. I was just a simp she didn't love, not even legally her husband yet. It wasn't my place to question her. I don't think I'll come over, I said, suppressing my emotions. I didn't finish the sentence. I won't be coming over ever again. Rachel, this time I'm setting you free. Whether you want to steal a husband or be the other woman in someone else's marriage, it has nothing to do with me anymore. Not long after Rachel accepted my proposal, Ethan returned to the country. She naturally forgot our date to help Ethan move. When I got into a car accident and was injured, she got a call from Ethan saying he couldn't get a cab, and she abandoned me at the hospital without hesitation to drive him home. Even during intimate moments at night, if Ethan called saying a pipe burst and he couldn't fix it, she would leave immediately. They were inseparable, just like in the old days. Rachel never hid it from me, so I never even had the chance to accuse her of sneaking around. I could only hint at it. There are already rumors about you too. Ethan is a married man, and you're about to get married. You should be careful about how it looks. Rachel was calm and self-righteous. Ethan hasn't been back in years. We were classmates, it's only right I look after him. But Ethan isn't just a classmate. You two used to. Rachel's face went cold. Enough. I'm looking for a boyfriend, not a father. I don't need you to teach me what to do. She slammed the study door and didn't come out all night. Yet in college, Rachel was clingy and considerate with Ethan. People called her the perfect, devoted girlfriend. With me, she was always restrained and distant. Every argument we had ended with me apologizing. It was laughable. My girlfriend was still emotionally entangled with her ex, yet I was the one begging for forgiveness. Until the day I couldn't take it anymore and we argued in a parking lot. Rachel, if you like Ethan so much, why don't you just marry him? Why make him suffer as a cheater? I mocked her. Stung. Rachel flew into a rage, dropping her mask of indifference. What are you ranting about now? I know you've been jealous of him since college. I already did what you wanted and said yes to your proposal. What more do you want? Spreading rumors like this. If people hear, how is he supposed to show his face? Finally, she asked me in a tone of utter disappointment, Jason, when did you become so toxic? I don't want to fight. Let's both cool off. She drove away, leaving me stranded at a mountaintop resort with no cell signal and no way to call a car. I walked down the mountain in the rain, holding an umbrella a kind staff member gave me, wearing dress shoes. I was soaked to the bone, freezing. My heels were rubbed raw and bloody. When my phone finally got a signal, I thought about swallowing my pride and calling Rachel to come get me. But my finger slipped and opened Instagram. Ethan had posted a photo minutes ago. In the corner of the frame was a hand wearing a bracelet, Rachel's hand. Craving seafood chowder late at night, and someone delivered it immediately. Heartwarming. I stared at the post for a while, then silently put my phone away. My heart hurt so much it felt numb. I liked the seafood chowder from that place too. But Rachel always said waiting in line for soup was a waste of time and she wouldn't be stupid enough to do it. In 6 years, she never went with me once. But even after that disappointment, I forgave her easily. Love really makes you blind. I naively thought if I could just make it to the wedding, nothing could hurt me anymore. I was wrong. I suddenly felt exhausted. This relationship I treasured so much had been a one-man show from start to finish. Instead of waiting for Rachel to discard me, it was better to leave on my own terms, keeping the last shred of my dignity. After emailing my resignation to my company, I called my parents who lived abroad. Mom, Dad, Rachel, and I broke up. I thought it through. I want to change my environment and live somewhere else. My mom was shocked and tried to persuade me to reconsider. My dad grabbed the phone. Finally, Jason, don't listen to your mother. You should have come to us 6 years ago. Yeah. I should have left 6 years ago. The day I was preparing to go abroad back then, I ran into Rachel and Ethan at the airport security checkpoint. I'd heard Ethan was dumping Rachel for a wealthy heiress and moving overseas with her. Rachel was clutching Ethan's hand, her eyes red, her voice trembling. Ethan, please don't go. Give me one more chance. Ethan simply turned sideways, shaking off her touch, his eyes full of finality. Rachel, stop being childish. I'm really leaving. You can't give me the life I want. Rachel froze, a mix of indescribable anger and unwillingness flooding her eyes. She took a deep breath, suppressing everything, and spoke with sudden coldness. Fine. If that's your decision, I have nothing to say. Don't think I'll wait for you forever. It's not like I can't live without you. She spun around and bumped right into me. I had nowhere to hide, my face burning with awkwardness. Jason, do you like me that much? You chased me all the way to the airport? She asked, laughing mockingly. I wanted to deny it, but I couldn't find the words. I'll give you a chance. Be with me, yes or no? She grabbed my wrist, her grip desperate. I couldn't refuse her, so I tore up my plane ticket and stayed by her side for 6 years, waiting for my heart to turn to ash. I had handed over my work responsibilities early. The original plan was to clear my schedule for the wedding. Now, quitting was just a convenient final step. Just as I finished packing my personal items, Rachel called. A mutual acquaintance at the office must have tipped her off. She started with a cold, impatient interrogation. Jason, why didn't you discuss quitting with me beforehand? How old are you? Why are you still so immature? I could hear the suppressed anger in her voice. I suddenly found it funny. How masochistic was I back then to tolerate her mood swings? What does my resignation have to do with you? Rachel raised her voice. Jason, I am your fiancé. We are getting married next week. I exhaled slowly. Rachel, we're done. I don't want you anymore. After the honeymoon phase fades, relationships are mostly sustained by inertia. Like a ball moving at a constant speed, unless an external force acts on it, it keeps going. My inertia with Rachel was massive. Even though I knew we had problems, unless forced, I wouldn't have changed anything. But now, I had seen Rachel and Ethan rolling around in my marriage bed with my own eyes. I couldn't lie to myself anymore. Rachel fell silent. After a long while, she spoke. I'm very busy right now. Let's meet at lunch and talk. Nothing to talk about, I refused. We're done. Who breaks up over the phone? Rachel interrupted. Calm down. I have things to do. Hanging up. Listening to the dial tone, I locked my phone and threw it into my bag. I was the one breaking up, yet Rachel was the one who hung up on me with righteous indignation. I laughed out of sheer disbelief. I finally let go of that faint hope in my heart. Did I really expect the high and mighty Rachel to lower herself to win me back? Don't be stupid. That night, I ordered fried chicken and beer. When the knock came, I thought it was the delivery guy and opened the door excitedly. My face fell when I saw who it was. Can I help you? Rachel pushed her way in. I have something for you. We broke up. I held onto the doorknob, not caring what she brought. Babe, stop it, Rachel said, her voice steady, but I detected a hint of nervousness she was trying to hide. You can't just break up like that. I scoffed. Rachel, you have never called me babe. And take a good look. I am not Ethan. Rachel choked, awkwardly changing the subject. I bought the watch you posted about wanting. Stop having a tantrum, okay? She opened the watch box, eager for praise. My smile turned even more mocking. I rolled up my sleeve. The exact same watch had been on my wrist for months. Take it back. I can buy what I like myself. Rachel stared for a moment, her face darkening. What do you mean? I laughed. Rachel, we've been together 6 years. When have I ever brought up breaking up? Rachel stumbled over her explanation. Is this because of Ethan? We're just old friends. He'll leave after our wedding. You know damn well he's married. What kind of bullshit excuse was that? How pathetic did I look in her eyes? Everyone knew he was the love of her life, and she wanted him at my wedding to humiliate me. You slept with him, didn't you? I asked directly. Jason, that was in the past. Don't treat me like an idiot. Rachel was silent for a while. When she spoke again, her tone was resigned, like she was smashing a cracked pot. Isn't that normal for modern people? It was just one time. Just one time? Rachel seemed to realize her explanation was doing damage control too late. She took a deep breath and squeezed out an apology. I know I was wrong. That's a first, I thought bitterly. Rachel apologizing meant she knew she had crossed my bottom line. Save it. I'm not throwing a tantrum. I won't bother you anymore. I'm giving you your freedom. She seemed annoyed, reaching into her pocket for cigarettes before stopping herself. Jason, are you serious about breaking up? I'm asking you one last time. You know I'm not a patient person. Cheating women are always so lenient with themselves. She crossed the line, yet she could still stand there acting high and mighty, making threats. I didn't speak again. I just pointed at the door. Seeing that apologies and threats didn't work, Rachel's face turned completely dark. She frowned at me. Jason, you weren't like this before. You used to be soft-hearted with me. I curled my lip coldly. Nobody stays a doormat forever. Then, I used a little force to push the stunned woman out the door. If you have nothing else, get the hell out. I canceled the wedding venue, refunded the honeymoon tickets, and started liquidating my domestic assets. My family was abroad, and I didn't plan on coming back anytime soon. Rachel called a few times. I didn't answer. She started texting. Where did you put that black shirt you bought me? The turtle isn't moving. I can't find the turtle food. I found it funny. I was just a guest who didn't even have the door code. Why ask me about household things? Rachel had contacted me more in the last few days than in the past few years combined. Why was she suddenly so free? Didn't she need to accompany Ethan? Out of sight, out of mind. I blocked her. I got calls from friends asking why everything had gone silent right before the wedding. I thought about it and posted a message on my socials. Nothing happened. We just separated. That day, I planned to meet some friends for lunch and a movie. Just as I got ready, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Rachel. Knowing I would hang up, she spoke fast. The kid we sponsor sent a letter. Came to my house. Do you want to come get it? The year Rachel and I got together, we traveled to a rural area and ended up sponsoring a local student living in poverty. For 6 years, the girl and I had kept up a correspondence. If I had left anything else at Rachel's, I would have abandoned it. But I couldn't throw away a letter written from the heart. I wasn't being narcissistic, but Rachel used to scoff at my monthly letters to the girl. Now, she was clearly using the one thing I cherished to force me to come back. I replied, got it, and hung up. The next morning, I went to Rachel's. The security didn't have my license plate anymore, so I parked outside the complex. I walked to the familiar door but didn't use the code. I knocked. Rachel opened the door, a hint of awkwardness on her face. When I saw men's dress shoes in the entryway, I realized I shouldn't have come. But I was already there. Turning around would look weak. I looked into the living room and saw a man wearing my silk robe, chest exposed, sitting on the sofa. It was Ethan. He held a coffee in one hand and a sheet of paper in the other, raising an eyebrow at me with a provocative grin. Jason, I didn't respond. Rachel quickly explained, Jason, Ethan accidentally got his clothes dirty, so I grabbed one of yours. I glanced at the coffee table. There were some local agricultural products and an opened envelope, the stuff from the student. I realized what the paper in Ethan's hand was. You are so country, Ethan said, waving the letter. What era is this? Writing letters? Can't you just buy the kid a phone? He had opened the letter addressed to me. My eyes darkened. I walked expressionlessly to the sofa. Ethan smirked, thinking I was going to grab the letter. He twisted his wrist to hold it out of reach. But I wasn't reaching for the letter. I grabbed the steaming cup of coffee from his other hand. Before he could react, I splashed it right into his face. Smash! I dropped the cup at his feet, shattering it. Did I say you could read that? I asked coldly. Ethan was stunned for a second, then jumped up screaming. Ah! What are you doing? Rachel rushed out of the bathroom at the noise, holding freshly dried clothes. He threw coffee on me. Ethan looked like he wanted to rip me apart. Rachel, what is wrong with your ex? Getting violent like that? No class. Rachel was dumbfounded. She looked at the mess on the floor and asked me in shock, you threw coffee on him? The Jason she knew had no personality and took whatever was dished out. Knowing she wouldn't get an answer, she turned to Ethan. Don't be angry yet. Your clothes are clean and dry, go change. I'll handle this. You'll handle it? Ethan laughed in anger. He shredded the letter in his hand into pieces. Then he slicked back his wet hair and pointed at the kitchen. Get me a cup of coffee. Boiling hot. I'm throwing it back. I looked at the shredded paper on the floor and chuckled lightly. I walked into the kitchen, picked up the pot which was still half full, and walked slowly back toward Ethan. I didn't say a word, but my eyes were cold as winter. Ethan involuntarily took half a step back behind Rachel. What is he doing? Okay, Jason, stop. Rachel stepped in front of me to block my path, then turned to Ethan. I apologize on his behalf. You should go. Don't make a scene, it makes everyone look bad. That convinced Ethan. He clearly didn't want to go head to head with a crazy person. He muttered bad luck and pointed at me. You wait. This isn't over. After Ethan left, the room finally went quiet. I squatted down and picked up the pieces of the torn letter one by one. Rachel stood beside me, explaining, "You were ignoring me these past few days. I was in a bad mood. Ethan and I drank too much last night and I brought him back. But don't worry, I really didn't do anything. Jason, I didn't expect you to be so harsh for my sake. I know I was bad before. I promise to treat you well from now on. Come back." Rachel. I put the torn paper back into the envelope and looked at her indifferently. Aren't you being a little presumptuous? Rachel froze, then frowned. I admit I did some stupid things over the years, but I'm awake now. When will you realize that the world doesn't revolve around you? Once you miss out on something, it doesn't come back. Rachel's face darkened. What do you mean? We broke up. You are nothing to me. Don't you get it? I looked her in the eye. I don't care what you do. I just came to get my stuff. I threw away everything you gave me. I calculated the market value and put the cash on this card. 6 years. I didn't take advantage of you. I pulled a bank card from my jeans pocket and tossed it onto the sofa. Do you understand now? Why is breaking up so complicated with you? I picked up the package from the table and turned to leave. Rachel, suppressing her rage, said in a low voice, "You're in such a hurry to break up. Is there another woman?" Her anger suddenly boiled over, her voice rising, losing her usual poise. I just lost my composure once. What about you? You're canceling a wedding for some woman? Who is the one crossing the line? My mouth twitched. Rachel, you are hopeless. I didn't bother wasting words. I turned to walk out. Rachel blocked my way. Jason, explain yourself. You aren't breaking up because of Ethan. I never hid anything about Ethan from you. If you cared, you wouldn't have waited until the wedding. How did I offend you so much that you dumped me out of nowhere? Who is she? You loved me for 6 years. Not 6 months. Can you really just let go? Hearing this, I suddenly understood. Rachel's intense reaction wasn't because she loved me. It was because she was unwilling to lose. She was spiraling because the simp who always obeyed her might have found someone else. She wouldn't let go simply because she couldn't handle that I was the one who dumped her. I felt nothing but disgust as I stepped around her. If you're that insecure, just tell people you dumped me. I won't argue. Enemies really do cross paths. I was just having coffee alone when he spotted me. Ethan sat down opposite me, arms crossed. I took a sip of my coffee and smiled. What? Want to splash me back? Or did you call Rachel so I can play the villain in your drama? Ethan frowned and started shouting. Villain? Jason, who do you think you are? What gives you the right to fight me for Rachel? Rachel and I were together in college. You are the third wheel. His shouting attracted stares from the other patrons. Even knowing how shameless he was, his audacity surprised me. Ethan, do I need to remind you? You married someone else 6 years ago. So what? Even if I'm married, I never told Rachel we were broken up. Since we didn't officially break up, you're the one interfering. If I hadn't been by her side, do you think you'd still have a place in her life after 6 years? People were pointing at him now, but he scanned the room with a cold, arrogant sneer, feeling no shame. I kept smiling. Don't worry, Rachel and I are officially over. I don't want a woman who's been tainted. Go get a divorce, maybe she'll promote you from side piece to husband. I just wonder, is your divorce going to be that easy? Ethan's face changed instantly. Since we ran in the same circles, news of his marriage abroad wasn't a secret. His wife, Vanessa, was paranoid and petty. She held a grudge about his past with Rachel. Vanessa also had severe bipolar disorder and a violent streak. Friends abroad gossiped that Ethan was often covered in bruises from her beatings. He had thought about divorce, but Vanessa's family was powerful and dangerous. If he tried to leave, she would destroy him. Jason, what do you mean? Ethan's muscles tensed, his voice trembling. I dropped my smile and handed him my phone. Ethan, I'm warning you once. Don't mess with me. My patience has limits. I still have the video of you two hooking up in my marriage bed. If you don't want your wife to find out you're cheating, try me. The video on the screen drained the blood from Ethan's face. I had installed cameras during the renovation to prevent workers from stealing materials. I mentioned it to Rachel once, but she didn't care or listen. No one remembered to take them down. Now, that video was my leverage to ruin the people who betrayed me. I didn't like to be ruthless, but I would play this card if pushed. Besides, Ethan's marriage was already a living hell. Good luck to him. Before I left the country, my best friend Ben organized a farewell party. We were in a private room at a restaurant, laughing and drinking. Someone must have leaked the location to Rachel, because halfway through, she showed up uninvited. She looked haggard, with dark circles under her eyes. She held a bouquet of white roses, an apology. She walked slowly toward me, professing her love. Jason, I know it's all my fault. I'm sorry. I've been reflecting every day, hoping for your forgiveness. I see my heart clearly now. I love you. Don't leave me like this. Give me a chance. Let's start over. I laughed out loud. Rachel froze, frowning, clearly unhappy with my reaction. In her mind, the desperate simp I used to be should have been crying tears of gratitude. Drop the act, Rachel. How can you have the nerve to say you love me? Ben angrily smashed his cup on the table. Rachel, have some shame. Ethan left, so now you remember Jason? What do you take him for? We all saw how you treated Jason over the years. We wanted to set off fireworks when he finally dumped you. Oh, so Ethan had already left. Ben wanted to keep yelling, but I shook my head, patted his shoulder, and turned to Rachel. Rachel, you're wrong. You don't love me. If you loved me, how could you treat me like that for 6 years? I thought if I stayed by your side, you'd eventually see my worth. But you taught me that if you don't love someone, effort doesn't matter. The moment Ethan appears, all your principles vanish. Rachel grabbed my hand in panic. Jason, it's not like that. I was just unwilling to accept that he dumped me back then. I rarely thought of him these years. I've been thinking about you, about us. We were so good together. Can you really just let go? I smiled bitterly and shook my head. No, we weren't good. I was the one compromising, struggling to keep it together. You gave me nothing but neglect and cold violence. I gave you chances, and you repaid me by cheating on me emotionally and physically. I had always saved face for her, but now that I exposed the truth in front of everyone, the room went silent. Rachel was speechless. After a moment, she whispered, Jason, I don't accept the breakup. What can I do to make it up to you? I spoke calmly. I don't blame you anymore. Then why break up? Because I don't love you anymore. Seeing you now just makes me sick. You only hate when you still care. When the love is gone, where do you find the energy to hate? Rachel looked at me, tears and shock in her eyes. I know I let you down. I'll treat you better. I sighed. It's not about letting me down. Being good to you before was my choice. I brought it on myself. But you need to understand, everyone has to take responsibility for their actions. I wasn't trying to be noble. I had made Rachel my obsession. Even knowing she didn't love me, I stayed. So her neglect was something I signed up for. Rachel left. Proud as she was, she didn't appear in front of me again. Even after I went abroad and started my new life, she never bothered me. Except for a New Year's email. I didn't reply, I just blocked her address. Life abroad was peaceful. I reconnected with my parents, made new friends, and started a new relationship. Everything was moving toward the future I had always wanted. Later, I heard about a murder case that shocked the Chinese community. A wife discovered her husband's affair and killed him. I knew the victim. It was Ethan. Gossip said Vanessa's methods were brutal. Even the police were horrified. I felt neither joy nor pity. As I told Rachel, everyone must be responsible for their actions. Rachel's future wouldn't be easy either. Vanessa's family hired top lawyers to plead insanity. Vanessa had been screaming at the crime scene that she would make Rachel pay. Rachel was on her own. 2 years later, Ben flew out to be the best man at my wedding. He brought news of Rachel. After the breakup, she messed up at work, lost key projects, and tanked her career. Her reputation was destroyed. Friends alienated her. After all, one man fled, the other died. She became an island. For someone as proud as Rachel, it was a massive blow. As for me, Ben said I looked like a new person, glowing. I laughed and pulled my fiancée, Lily, into my arms. With love and conviction, you can walk out of the gloom and into the sun. Those who betray love can spend the rest of their lives in regret and loneliness.